Most men never see it coming, not because the signs aren't there, but because they refuse to look. They confuse loyalty with blindness. They mistake comfort for security. And by the time they realize what's happening, it's already too late. The truth is, betrayal rarely happens overnight. It's a slow fade, hidden in the way she talks less, guards her phone, laughs at texts you'll never see. You think it's just stress, just mood swings, until it isn't. This video isn't about blaming women. It's about awareness, about protecting your peace, your time, and your future. Because a man who can't read behavior will always be controlled by it, but a man who observes calmly, acts wisely, and guards his boundaries can't be broken by anyone's deception. Number 1. Secretive phone behavior. It starts small. She tilts her screen away when you walk by. She laughs at messages you never see. Her phone, once left on the couch without a thought, is now glued to her hand, face down, always locked. Most men notice, but they gaslight themselves. She's just private, they say. Everyone deserves space. And that's true, until privacy turns into secrecy. The phone is today's diary. It holds conversations, desires, and digital footprints of emotional shifts. When that diary suddenly becomes off-limits, it's rarely for no reason. People hide what they don't want you to find. And women, when emotionally checked out or invested elsewhere, protect that new connection like a secret garden. You'll feel the distance before you confirm the truth. The late-night scrolling, the sudden smile at a notification, the way she carries her phone to the bathroom, to the kitchen, to the next room, as if it's oxygen. A stoic man doesn't explode or accuse. He observes. He collects data, patterns, behavior. Because truth doesn't need to be chased. It reveals itself in silence. And when it does, the question isn't, is she hiding something? It's, why did I ignore the signs when they were already screaming? Number 2. Emotional withdrawal. It doesn't happen overnight. One day, her eyes stop meeting yours the same way. Her voice loses warmth. The little, "How was your day?" turns mechanical. Something she says out of habit, not care. You feel it before you can explain it. The energy shifts. Emotional withdrawal is the quiet death of connection. She's there, but not there. Her body sits beside you, but her mind drifts elsewhere. Conversations that once flowed now hit walls of one-word answers. The laughter fades first, then curiosity, then intimacy. And yet, most men cling harder. They buy gifts, plan dates, chase what's already walking away. But chasing emotion is like trying to catch smoke. The tighter you grab, the faster it disappears. A stoic man doesn't chase. He notices. He sees the silence, the lack of eye contact, the growing indifference. Not as an insult, but as information. Because emotion, like investment, reveals where someone's heart really is. Maybe she's distracted. Maybe she's done. Either way, her distance is communication. Just not the kind that uses words, and when a woman's emotions have left the room, her presence is only an echo. That's when a man must decide. Will he beg for what's gone, or walk away with his dignity intact? Number 3. Unexplained absences. It starts small. She's suddenly busy. A new project at work, a friend in crisis, a girl's night that wasn't on the calendar. At first, you don't question it. You trust her. That's what a grounded man does. But over time, the gaps multiply. The stories start to blur. And when you ask simple questions, her answers come wrapped in irritation. Why are you being so paranoid? That's how distance hides itself, behind guilt and gaslight. A woman who's fully invested doesn't vanish without clarity. She communicates because she wants to be understood. But when she begins disappearing into vague plans and last-minute changes, something deeper is shifting. Her presence becomes unpredictable, her accountability fragile. A stoic man doesn't accuse, he observes. He doesn't demand details, he looks at patterns, frequency, energy, consistency, because truth always reveals itself in repetition. Maybe she's not cheating, maybe she's just detaching. But both lead to the same destination, disconnection. And when her time no longer belongs to the relationship, it's not just her body that's gone. It's her investment. So when you notice these absences, don't fill them with excuses. Fill them with awareness. Because a man who ignores the silence will one day wake up alone, wondering when she truly left. Number 4. Defensive lying. When a woman begins lying, it rarely starts with betrayal. It starts with fear. Fear of being questioned. Fear of being seen. Fear that the truth will disrupt the illusion she's trying to hold together. You'll notice it in the small things first. She tells you she was with a friend, but won't say who. She changes details mid-story. She answers simple questions with unnecessary explanations, the kind that sound rehearsed. And when you ask again, calmly, she gets defensive. Her tone shifts from warmth to accusation. Why don't you trust me? That's the paradox. The louder she demands trust, the less of it remains. A grounded man doesn't chase lies. He watches them expose themselves, because deceit always leaves residue, inconsistencies, tension, unease. You can feel when energy no longer matches words. When lying becomes defense, it's no longer about the truth. It's about control. It's about keeping you off balance, making you question your perception so she doesn't have to face hers. A stoic man doesn't react emotionally. He listens to silence between her words. He studies the pattern, not the apology. Because once deception enters love, the relationship stops being intimate. It becomes strategic. And love cannot survive where truth is treated like a threat. Number 5. Sudden, grooming change. When a woman begins changing how she looks, drastically and suddenly, it's rarely just for herself. It's often the first visible ripple of an invisible shift. Maybe she starts going to the gym more, buying new clothes, wearing perfume she never used before. Maybe she spends hours on her appearance for a casual day out. On the surface, it looks harmless. Self-care, confidence, growth. But beneath it, something's moving. Because genuine self-improvement usually follows an inner transformation. It's gradual, consistent, intentional. But when the change is abrupt, when she reinvents her image overnight, becomes obsessed with attention, and starts seeking validation outside the relationship, it's a signal, a silent declaration that she's preparing for a different audience. You'll notice she no longer dresses up for you. Her effort shifts direction. Compliments that once mattered now barely register. Her mirror becomes her confidant, her reflection, her validation. A stoic man doesn't accuse. He observes. He sees patterns, not moments. He understands that attraction doesn't vanish. It migrates. Sometimes a woman's body will tell the truth her words refuse to. And when her transformation feels less like growth and more like escape, that's when you know she's already halfway gone. Number 6. Decreased intimacy. Intimacy is the quiet language of connection, the unspoken bond that says, I'm still here with you. When that language starts to fade, something deeper has already changed. You'll feel it before you see it. The subtle pulling away, the half-hearted kisses, the hugs that feel polite instead of passionate. She says she's just tired, stressed, or not in the mood. And maybe for a while that's true. Life gets heavy. But when the distance becomes constant, when touch feels forced and presence feels like absence, it's not fatigue. It's emotional disconnection. Women don't usually cheat because of lust. They cheat because of emotional starvation. When her heart drifts, her body follows. When she no longer feels seen, desired, or connected, she begins to build a bridge, often to someone who makes her feel those things again. A stoic man doesn't panic when intimacy fades. He watches. He reflects. He asks, is this distance about her, or about what we've both stopped nurturing? And if the answer is her detachment, if she's checked out emotionally while pretending nothing's wrong, that's your signal. Because when a woman stops craving closeness, she's not just avoiding touch. She's rehearsing absence. Number 7. Changed social patterns. When a woman begins to cheat, or even consider it, her world subtly rearranges itself. You won't notice it at first, but watch her social patterns. They tell the story, her words won't. The nights out become more frequent and more vague. The friends you've never met suddenly become her safe space. Her weekends start to include work events or girls' nights that never existed before. And when you ask simple questions, who'll be there? Or when will you be back? Her tone shifts, defensive, irritated, like you've trespassed on private ground. This is how emotional distance hides in plain sight, through new routines. A gym she suddenly loves, a cafe she never used to visit, a co-worker she now mentions too casually, too often. These aren't random. They're rituals built around escape, little sanctuaries of secrecy. A stoic man doesn't chase her shadow. He observes quietly. He doesn't argue or accuse. Because truth doesn't need noise. It needs clarity. If her world is expanding but you're no longer part of it, that's not growth. That's separation disguised as independence. When a woman's social world changes without you in it, she's not just exploring freedom. She's rehearsing life without you. Number 8. Evasive answers about the future. When a woman begins to pull away, her words change before her actions do. You'll notice it when the topic shifts toward the future. Ask her something simple. Where do you see us next year? Or should we plan that trip? And suddenly, her once clear eyes cloud with hesitation. She'll smile, maybe even laugh, but the answer never comes. It's too early to tell. Let's just see where things go. Or the classic, why rush it? Once upon a time, she spoke about the future with you in it. Now, her language has shifted from we to me. It's not just words. It's emotional distancing disguised as casual conversation. The stoic man doesn't ignore this change. He doesn't push for reassurance, because real truth reveals itself in silence. He listens. He watches. When a woman avoids talking about a shared future, she's already building one in her mind, without you. Evasion is never accidental. It's a defense mechanism. It means her heart has started writing a different story, and she's trying to end this chapter without confrontation. So when her plans become private and her dreams no longer have space for two, understand, she's already halfway gone. The Stoic strategy. From reaction to control. The average man reacts. He panics when he senses distance. He argues when he feels ignored. But a Stoic man doesn't chase. He observes, confirms, and acts with clarity. When you start noticing the red flags, the secrecy, the withdrawal, the sudden shifts, your first instinct might be to demand answers. Don't. That's emotion speaking. And emotion clouds judgment. Instead, you verify before you confront. Patterns matter more than moments. If the same evasions, lies, or absences repeat, that's confirmation, not paranoia. Once you've confirmed, the next move is direct dialogue. Sit down calmly, without accusation, and ask for truth. Not to argue, but to measure respect. Because how she responds tells you everything, whether she values honesty or hides behind excuses. If clarity doesn't come, draw your boundaries. You're not begging for loyalty. You're defining self-respect. Boundaries aren't threats. They're standards, and a man without standards will always be manipulated by those who test them. Then comes protection. Financial independence isn't cold. It's survival. Keep your accounts separate. Document key assets, and if marriage is ever discussed, have the courage to talk about a prenup. Not as distrust, but as fairness. Because love without protection turns into leverage. The Stoic man doesn't wage emotional wars. He acts with discipline, speaks with precision, and walks away with dignity when truth disappears. Because the goal isn't to control her, it's to control yourself. That's how a man turns pain into power. Not by chasing what's slipping away, but by mastering what he can hold, his peace, his mind, and his future.